For decades, Chemung County has forced local bars and restaurants to stop serving drinks at 1 in the morning. Now, for the first time in recent history, some local bar owners are speaking out about that rule. In a special report, DiMattei looks into how some say the county closing time is affecting business.
This is downtown Elmira at 1:30 in the morning on a weekend night. It's a ghost town. See, that's because last call was 45 minutes ago, and since then, everyone's gone home. Meanwhile, at bars and restaurants all across New York State, the money and drinks continue to pour in. So why is that?
County Executive Tom Santulli says it's been that way for a long time, probably for several reasons.
It's been 1 o'clock here ever since I can remember. When you first mentioned this to me, I made a few phone calls, and I would tell you law enforcement sees it as probably something that they wouldn't support because they kind of feel it's 1 a.m. and people have kind of done what they've done, and 3 a.m. brings maybe more problems to a community. You can have that debate. There's bar owners that I talked to that said, you know what, at 1 a.m. I've had it.
Only 5 of New York's 62 counties force their bars and restaurants to close at 1 a.m. on the weekends, and one of them is Chemung County. That means almost 92% of counties allow bars to stay open until at least 2 a.m., and more than half are allowed to stay open until at least 3 in the morning. A pair of Horseheads bar owners don't find that very fair.
Considering that we pay the same fees, fines, taxes, no, we're definitely not on the same playing field. And that's all we're asking, is to not be the exception to the rule, but to be able to stay open as long as everyone else is.
Absolutely not, because we have people that actually come in from out of state and they're like, oh, you close at 1 o'clock? We're like, back home we close at 2, 3, or 4. And I'm like, it's Horseheads.
John Brady, the owner of Brady's Pub in Elmira, argues the early closing time is holding back business.
For me personally, I think it would help tremendously, just because extending it that extra hour, those are our busiest times, is Friday and Saturday night from 10:30 to 1. So if we could get an extra hour out of that, I think that'd be a huge improvement for myself and my staff.
But some bar owners, like Alyssa Sturmer, aren't so sure a later closing time would help business at all.
I think you may get a few people, but nothing that's going to make the difference that people think that it's going to, or other bar owners think that it's going to. Just in me talking, because I know bar owners in other states, like I said, or other counties, and because I at one time thought it would be good for us to be open that extra hour. But in talking to them, when you ask when people come out when they close at 3, people come out at 1:30, 2 o'clock. Same here, we close at 1, so people come out 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Ultimately, one person has the power to put the provision to a vote. County Executive Tom Santulli says it's not likely that he would, but he's always willing to listen to what the community has to say.
I am not inclined to do anything other than what we do now. Now, if the playing field changes, if the public mood was different, if people thought this was a good idea, listen, nothing's etched in stone forever, but I can tell you this, there's nothing that would motivate me right now to do it.
Reporting in Elmira, DiMattei, WENY News.
And Santulli says in his 25 years as Chemung County Executive and Deputy Executive, concerns about the bar and restaurant closing time has never been brought to his attention. Several of the bar owners who spoke to WENY News said they plan to unite and bring the topic to the legislature's attention.